So I started recording, and as I mentioned here, when you are sharing a folder within the drive, you can click on the folder one time and these options appear at the top to either share the link or share to individuals. You can also right-click on the folder. When you right-click on the folder, you get this pop-up menu. And notice the different options here. You can open with another application. Sharing is right here, and getting the link is right here as well. So here are your sharing options if you right-click on the folder from the drive. You're also able to change the color here. Okay, so that's sharing a folder. Just so you know, when you do share the folder and you make it, let's say, shareable within our domain, then everything that's placed in that folder will also be shareable within our domain. So you don't have to go into each file and then change those sharing options. So everything that I place, if I go into, let me go in there now. If I go into this particular folder right here, and I right-click on it, and I change my sharing options, and notice right here it is restricted, but I'm going to click Change Link to Los Fresnos CISD. So now if I share that link with anybody in our domain, they will be able to click on it and view my folder because it is set as viewer right here. I can change that, but I highly recommend that you leave your links as viewer only. And then I'll click Done. And so now you'll see that my folder changed. It was a solid gray, and now it has a little person icon. So now I know that it is being shared. Okay, so those are my sharing options with a folder. When we're sharing a specific file, so let's say a Google Doc in this case, I can either share it from my drive when I find my file. So my file is right here, or any of these files here. I can click on the file one time, and then these options appear at the top, where I can then select what I want to do. I can share, I can get the link. And we'll look at these sharing options a little more in just a little bit. I can also right-click on the file, just like I did with the folder, and I can share from within the file. So here I am in the actual file. I went ahead and clicked on my file, and I'm in my sample doc, and I'm able to share it by simply clicking Share on the top right. So with a file, I can share from my drive before I actually get into the file, or once I am in the file itself, I can go ahead and share there. All right, so before I move on, let's go ahead and take a look at some of those sharing options there. And here's my file. It's still in my drive and I haven't clicked on it. I can either click on it one time and choose one of these sharing options here. Here, this is for my link, copy my link, or this is for my actual file itself. And you'll notice here my file is switched to Los Fresnos CISD. I didn't do that. The reason that happened is because I changed the folder itself. So since I changed the folder, now everything in that folder adopts that sharing option. But I can change it if I need to. If I want to make this one particular file restricted, I can do that. Or if I want to make this one particular file open to everyone, because I'm going to share it with parents, I can open it to anyone with the link and then send out the link by email to parents. And now anybody can click on this one file, but it won't affect the other two in the folder. Okay, so let me go into the file itself. Now I'm in the file. Let's say I'm done editing. I can also choose to share from within the file here. So I can click Share. And notice it is still open to anyone with the link, but I can share with particular people here. So if I want to go ahead and share this out with a particular person, John, I'll use you. Let's say I want to share this out to John, and I want him to be able to edit the file. Notice that it automatically chooses editor. but I can change this to either viewer or commenter. If I want John to only view my file but not make any changes, I can do that. And I can send it to him. He'll receive an email, because notice it says notify people, that I am sharing a file with him. He can then click on it and view it, but at the top it will say view only. Now, if you want to make this more secure, because even though it's view only, John can technically go to file and choose make a copy and make his own copy that he can then edit. If you want to make this more secure and you don't want anybody copying your work, you can come right up here to the little settings here. And these are on by default, but you can take them off. Editors can change permissions and share. Viewers and commenters can see the options to download, print, and copy. So if I want John to be a viewer, but I don't want him to download, print, or copy my particular file, I can remove this. Or if I want John to be an editor, but I don't want him to be able to change the permissions on the file or share the file with others, then I can remove this. So those are additional options to make your file a little bit more secure. They're right here. Those are both on by default. Okay, so here, John, I hope you don't mind, I'm gonna go ahead and add John, and he's going to be an editor. I'll take off the notification, and I'll send, I'll share. So now if you ever want to check if you're sharing this particular file with somebody, you can go up to the sharing options and see who you're sharing it with. So sometimes we forget, wait a minute, is this my file or is this the file that I'm sharing with others? You can just click on the share button and just check who's on the list. And if you no longer want to share with somebody that's on the list, you can come right over here and you can give temporary access or remove them right here. Or you can, and I didn't see this option right now. It's not giving me the option to make John the owner. Could be because I gave him temporary access. Let me make him editor. There we go. Okay, make owner. I can transfer ownership to John. If I no longer need this file, I can make him the owner and then remove myself. And that means that this file will no longer be in my drive. Or I can simply remove somebody from the list, and that's it. Now I'm the only one on there. If they click on the link, they'll see an error message. Okay, so that's the sharing option. You get those same exact sharing options that we just reviewed, whether you're in the file or you're doing it out of the file from the drive. Okay, now sharing a form is a little different. The sharing options are the same, but where you find it from within a form is a little different. So here I have a sample form. And I'll click play again right now. And as you can see, you click on the 3 dots and then add collaborators. And that's where you get those options. So it's the 3 dots and then add collaborators. Now, the reason I point that out is because it's a little confusing. If I go into the form itself, there's a button on the top that says send. So naturally that makes one assume that that's how I can send this form out to another teacher to share. But that's actually to send the form so that somebody can actually submit this form so that they can fill it out. So notice it says, I've invited you to fill out a form. So if you send it like this and you put somebody's email here, then that means that you're inviting them to complete this survey or this particular quiz. If you do click on send and that's not what you want to do, you can scroll down and you have the add collaborators option down here. So you can just click on add collaborators and this is where you'll get the collaborator option. So now I can share this with my whole grade level so that they can make any changes to the test or to the survey, or I can grab the link here and email it out to people that I need to have editing access to this particular file. This is not how we would share to students. This is only how we. So all the sharing options that I just mentioned are ways to share with teachers. With students, we would share all these files from within Google Classroom. So we'd go into the actual Google Classroom and attach these files. All right. Now, sharing a file in Google Classroom. Here in Google Classroom, we would go to assignment if it's a file you want to assign, or material. But if you are assigning this to students, you do get 3 options for the particular file. So here I attached that sample doc we were looking at. And notice the 3 sharing options. Students can view the file, students can edit the file, and make a copy for each student. This middle one right here is a little deceiving because yes, we want students to edit the file, but that means that they're all going to edit the same file. So you'll have 20 students that will be making changes to one single file, which is your file, your copy. So choose wisely, because if you do choose this option and you meant to choose make a copy for each student, unfortunately, you can't go back and edit the assignment. It just won't let you. Once you've chosen one of these 2, those are the only 2 edits that you can make afterwards. This option is no longer there. So you would have to reuse the post, choose the correct option, and then delete the original post. All right, so just to explain those 3 sharing options within Google Classroom, if students can view the file, which is the first option, that means that students are given a view-only copy of the file, but they cannot edit the file. Just so you know, some of those files will say request access here. View only, request access. And students will always request access even though they don't need it. So just if you're going to share a file that is view only, you might want to let the students know this is only for you to view. So choose this option if you don't want students to make any changes to the file and it's just something that they need to reference. Students can edit the file, that's the second option. This means students are giving editing rights to that one particular file. And all students will be editing your file. When you choose this option, only choose this option if you want all students to work on the same file. So a collaborative project, for example. And make a copy for each student. If you are creating an assignment that you want each student to be responsible for, then I highly suggest that you choose this option. Just make sure you choose it the first time. And this means students are each assigned their own copy, which is named automatically to their name, and it will be editable. They can make changes and they can submit back to the teacher through Google Classroom. When to choose this option when you want students to work on a file or document independently. All right, and sharing a form in Google Classroom. When we're sharing a form, many of you have noticed that if we already have the form, we've created it and it's in our drive, we create an assignment, not a quiz assignment. A quiz assignment will give you a brand new form that you need to now create. So we create an assignment, we attach the form, but notice those 3 sharing options are not here. Google Classroom recognizes that it's a form and that students will be completing that form. So it automatically is going to be giving the fillable form to the students. They will not be shared the editable form at all. All you need to do is, if it's a self-grading form, just make sure that the grade importing is on and that you're only assigning that form by itself. If you add any attachments here, any more attachments to this one assignment, then the grade importing is turned off and you can no longer import the grades. Okay, so any questions, any issues that you've had with sharing options within Google Classroom? Anything that I may have not covered that you have questions on?
Yes, why is it that sometimes when you share, not all the kids get the form or the slide? It says that it's missing, or when you click to check the work, not everybody got it.
And the Google slide, a lot of the students are deleting the attachment. They can't delete the assignment, but they can delete the attachment.
Okay.
Yes. And the only way to reattach it is through the student account. So since you're a pre-K teacher, you'd probably have to log in there yourself and reattach it. And it's only available on desktop, so they can't do that on an iPad.
Thank you.
Brenda, when do people ask, what does it mean when they ask for requesting access? What are we doing wrong when we're getting emails that they're requesting access?
That usually means that the file is restricted. So you've shared a link that is restricted. It could also mean that you shared a view-only file and the
Okay.
students want editing access because
Okay.
they see that option at the top. And I mean, students just see it and they click it, or sometimes parents see it, click here to request access to edit, but they don't need
Okay.
access to edit.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Brenda, when you put the copy at the end, like a forced copy, they can also only view, right?
If that's what you have on the link. If the link is a view only, you know what? No, I believe that when you force copy, they get their own copy that they can edit, regardless of whether you have it set as viewer or editor. Is that right, John?
That's my understanding to it, but
Yeah,
I'm
that's
here.
my experience too.
I'm here because
When you
I'm
have-
doubting my abilities on that.
Because yesterday I sent out a link, but I put typed in copy at the end. So when I saw it like under my sample classroom, it prompted you to make a copy. So it's the exact same thing as like a viewer mode, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't. You
Because yes,
shared,
I had a link, and
Uh-huh.
then you know how you erase that ending part and you type in copy?
Mhm.
So when I went into my sample classroom, I was able to click on the link and then it prompted me to make a copy. So it made the copy and then you can edit. But I had a teacher that was requesting access even that way and it was opening up. But she was telling me that she couldn't open it, but I tried it different ways, like copying and pasting the link and clicking on it and it was working. So I don't know how she came across that
the
to make a request on access.
only thing that I can assume is that your link is open to only LFC ISD and she may have been logged into her personal account. So if her personal account is her default account and she clicks on a link, even if she's on her Los Fresnos account, when you click on a link, it opens in a new tab and it'll go back to your default, which could switch back to her personal, which will then restrict her because that link was only for LFC ISD. So maybe just ask her if she's logged into multiple Google accounts. And if she is, the way she can make her Los Fresnos account default is by logging out of all accounts and making sure to log in first to the Los Fresnos account and then the personal. So that anytime she clicks on a link, it opens with the default.
Okay, I'll check on that today. Thank you.
Mhm.
Ms. Rebollos, another question.
Yes.
Is there another way to check, for example, we do a form and we send it to all the kids. When you go into the class work, you don't see what they responded. So we actually have to go to the actual form and look at the responses. Is there another way where it's able to connect, or do we have to do it like that?
Usually
we
once
want-
you've imported the grade, you should be able to click on the individual student and you'll see the attachment there with the student.
Okay,
Which
so
will
I
be
need
their
to import
form.
it first.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you
Okay.
have to import it first.
I have a question. How about when, whenever we make a form, like a fill in the blank, and it should give us the 3 drop-down options like student can view, student can copy, and must make a copy, right? The
Not
third
for a form,
Not on forms?
not on forms. On forms in Google Classroom, it will automatically assign it as a fillable form that students need to complete. It won't give them the option to edit or to view.
Oh, okay. And how about on the slides though?
On the slides, yes.
It should give me the option of student can view, student can edit, and student must make a copy, right?
Yes.
For some reason, I've tried it with different coworkers and they do get that third option of must make a copy, but I'm not getting that option. I just get the view and the edit.
You get that if you didn't take it the first time. So if you're editing an assignment, like you already created it, and then you want to go back and add that third option, you can't. You need to start from scratch again.
Oh, okay.
Or not necessarily start from scratch, you can reuse that same post. So go to create and then reuse post, and then click on that post, and then choose that third option, and then delete your original. I don't know if that makes sense, but I can take you through the process.
It's like a one-time chance when you're creating it, just the first time you have a chance to do that.
Yes, the first time you get that third option. If you don't pick it, then you have to recreate the post.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, if I want to add, what do I use when I have students? I want them to answer something, but in their own writing, like not, multiple choice or anything, but they have to write. Like I'm going to give them a picture and they have to comment about it. I
Okay.
teach art. Mhm.
You can create a Google document
Okay,
and you
All
can attach a picture, and then once you share it in Google Classroom,
yes.
make a copy for each student if you want
Okay.
each of them to be
Yes.
able to write themselves. Yes.
As an assignment. Okay,
Mhm.
yes.
That's a
Okay,
Google
thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, another question here. Why is my husband's name coming out here instead of mine?
Because in the Zoom itself, you're logged in under his name. So
Oh,
you can always go to your computer, click on Zoom, and then there's a little, I think it's a settings gear. You can click there
okay.
and log out and then
Well,
log
this
in.
is my school laptop, but I mean, we work at home, so I'll figure it out. Thanks.
You may have used it. I have a question here. Does giving editor access change my file? The file itself, no, but whoever you're giving access to could change your file. And you could always view the history of the file as well. So you can go back and undo what they've done or check to see who's been in your file.
Ms. Rebolloso, I have a question as well.
Yeah.
Once we make a shared folder, I guess shareable, we go to the settings that you taught us and we make it shareable with our team. Would they also get access to our forms that we put in our slides? Like, let's say I create a slide and I've hyperlinked forms or I've hyperlinked other things. Does that make that shareable, or do I have to go and make that specific file shareable?
You have to go and give permission on those particular files.
Thank you.
Somebody asked about where to find the recorded session. I don't know. I think Ms. Stumbaugh mentioned she was going to post it on YouTube. I'm not sure, or maybe our digital resources page. But I'm handing it over to Ms. Stumbaugh, and it's wherever they want it. Any other questions?
Hey, do you happen to know the image size on forms off the top of your head? If not, I'll look it up. I know I've got a sheet with all the different sizes.
Yeah, that's what I referenced to. That's
Okay.
all. Yeah,
All
not
right,
off the
yeah, I'll
top
go
of my
back.
head.
I'll go back and reference. I know I got it saved. All right, thanks.
Mhm. Any other questions or any issues that you've encountered when sharing with students or students sharing with you? If you are receiving emails from students with work, you might want to let them know to make sure to turn it in through Google Classroom, not to click share on the top and send it to you. I know some students, they just see the share option and they just assume they should be sharing it with their teacher. And with forms, I just want to mention, I did say that you can click on the 3 dots and add collaborators, but just so you know, if you are collaborating on a form within your team, once you're done, make your own copy to assign to your class. Because if you all assign that same form, then your entire team's data will go into that one form. So when you click on responses, it's going to have all the students' information on there. So just make sure you collaborate together, but when you're finished, you make a copy for yourself, for your personal drive, and that you will be assigning to students. And if you are sharing it with multiple periods yourself or with multiple classes, you might want to add an additional field that's asking the students, what class period are you or who's your teacher, so that you can then go and filter the information when you're done. Any other questions? If not, then we are finished. If you do have any questions in the future, feel free to reach out, email me, and I'm happy to help. I'll volunteer John. John's happy to help too. All right, well, thank you everyone. And this session should be up soon. I can only assume it will be on the Digital Resources website, but I'm not sure about the Los Fresnos YouTube playlist. well, thank you. Have a wonderful day.
And
Yes,
if I have it on my drive, if it's on my drive, then I made a copy of it, right?
yes.
Okay.
Unless it was something that, like, let's say your strategist already had and shared with you.
No, like when Ruby shared with me
Uh-huh.
and I see it on my drive, that means I made a copy of it, right?
You can always double check by clicking on share. If you
Okay.
click on share, do you see her name? Then that's a shared drive. I mean, a shared file that's both on your drive and her drive.
Where do I see that?
Are you in your drive or are you in the file itself?
On the file itself.
Then you should click on the share button on the top right, or is it a form?
It's a form.
Oh, then click on the 3 dots and then add collaborator. And do you see her name on the list of people there?
I see all of us on there.
Okay, then that's shared. So then you might want to click on the 3 dots and make a copy and
Okay.
for yourself.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you share the list of the custom pages that we can use for page setup? Sorry, Ms. Galvan, are you still here? No, she's gone.
She's still here.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question. Can you?
Yeah, I know Mr. Garza was asking about the dimensions of the different ways that we can do the, can you share those with us, please?
Yes, of course. Yeah,
Thank
it has
you.
for the Google Classroom banner, and it has for the Google Forms banner, and it
Yes,
has all the
please.
different dimensions, of course.
Thank you.
Sure. Ms. Solis, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Hey, Brenda, on Google Forms, when you title it your form, is there a hotkey you can push, or you just go and push and it automatically renames it to whatever you title it as?
I don't know if there's a hotkey. I know that I've found once a list of hotkeys for Google itself. Now I'll have to go back and look for them. I just click on the file title once and it automatically.
It automatically does it. You click somewhere specific. I saw that yesterday and I was like, I tried that the other day and didn't rename it the same.
Had you already named the file? Or
No,
was it still untitled?
no, I named the form,
You just named the form? It
right?
always
And
does it for me.
if I put the title in the form first and then I go to name the file, right? I should just click there and it automatically does it?
It should, yes.
Okay, I'll try
And
again maybe.
yesterday I noticed that the reverse worked too. I did the form, the
First.
file title first.
Title first.
And then I clicked on the form title and it automatically did
It automatically catches it.
which was
Okay, I
nice
thought that was
this
a hotkey I was missing because
No.
maybe I just didn't click it right. My fingers have been a little off or something.
No, it automatically does it for me.
Yeah, your volume went back down, but it's okay. We're at the end. Nobody's here.
That's so
Miss
weird.
Cepeda, I think you're following me. I saw you yesterday
I'm here.
on the forms one, and here you are again in the morning. Are you going to the one this afternoon?
No, I've got a meeting. I'm gonna miss that one. But yeah, I want to learn everything I can.
Yeah, I'm hitting
Makes
them
it a
all
lot
up again.
easier when you're actually trying to do stuff. And these
Yeah,
have been very
starting to.
helpful.
Well, yeah, everybody's starting to, and you told me this way, and then everybody's requesting access, and I'm like,
Yeah, I know. That was a zoo.
I'm pretty sure it only works this way, but let me go and verify.
Brenda, one more question.
Yes.
When somebody's sharing, let's say like our coding lab, that it's somebody else's, but I made a copy and I wanted to move that copy to my folder. Why can't I move it?
You made a copy from within the sharing.
Like one of our files in the coding lab folder, I made a copy of it so I could put that copy in my drive, but it won't move because it.
Shared drive, it never lets me drag. I usually have to go into the file, make a copy, and as soon as I get the pop-up for the make a copy, I have to select the folder where I want it, which is my personal folder. And then
Yeah, you're gonna have to track back a whole bunch of. That's the way I know. I made copies out of my folder, and it has you in the folder in the shared drive, and you've got to click back like I don't know, maybe
Well, I
5,
went
6.
back. I
Mhm.
went back to my drive and it doesn't give me the option to click my drive. It's like,
Oh,
it's
it's at
not
the way at the
highlighted.
bottom of your screen, probably hidden where you can't see it. Yeah, then
No, because it
move
doesn't
that.
highlight my drive, that name, like that folder,
Mhm.
it doesn't highlight it. Like it won't even let me click it.
You already made the copy.
Hmm?
Once the you already made the copy, right? It's already
Yes.
there. Yeah,
Mhm.
once you've made the copy, it belongs in the shared drive. You have to do it when you're in the process of making the copy.
Okay, I'll test it out today.
Yeah, so there's probably another copy in the shared drive.
Are we having a meeting later? Sorry.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'm good for the, oh, wait, John, you have
That's
that
right.
meeting, right?
Yeah, but it's not till 4:15, so we're going from 3 to 4, right?
Yeah, I'll be on at 3.
Okay. Yeah, I'll see you guys at 3. Thanks for the reminder, Alma.
Yeah, thanks. I know I forgot to.
Are
And,
you sending the link or it's the same one?
It's the same one, but I can send it again.
Okay. Okay,
All right.
guys. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Bye. Bye, Carol.
Bye, Diana.
See you in a long time.
Bye, Brenda. I know, and we live in the same place. It's horrible.
We'll see you.
Have a good day. Bye,
You too.
Brenda.
Bye.
See you
Thanks so
tomorrow,
much.
Brenda. I got an iPad.
Yay!
I'm sorry.
This year.
Hey, yeah, I understand.
Okay. Have a good day. Bye.